Welcome to this stock analysis blitz for Greatland Gold. Greatland Gold was suggested to me by my subscriber Nick Batt. Before I start this video, please remember that I do these videos just for fun and always seek help from a professional investment advisor before making any investments yourself. So Greatland Gold are a gold exploration play. They really have one main project, which is the Havieron project, which is located in Australia in an area with a lot of gold mining already. And so this makes it a relatively low risk asset. Obviously, a lot of the exploration plays are in parts of the world like Papua New Guinea or Africa or somewhere, parts of the world where you can have the wrong government come in and just completely unhinge the project or wars going on. However, here we're in a very safe location in terms of that. And here's the Havieron prospect, and they also have some other exploration licenses as well. So there is potential once the Havieron mine gets started for further upside from these other properties. So I got these lovely graphics from Greatland Gold's very own investor presentation, and you can see it's actually already a mine set up. They've got all the infrastructure here. They're just now digging down to the actual ore body. You can see here where they've done all the exploration drills, and they have got back, some good results with this high-grade crescent of particular note. And here we have a nice computer graphic of the mine where you can see their predicted tunnel designs in order to extract these resources. So yeah, very nice. So they actually made the Havieron discovery in 2018 and then achieved a farming agreement with Crest in 2019. Now Crest are Australia's largest producer, but they now own 70% of the gold that gets produced. But with their predicted resources of 6.5 million ounces of gold from this mine, I calculated that Greatland Gold would then get £3.7 billion worth of gold from that. Now they have numbers here for what they expect it will cost to extract the gold, and so from that I gave a very conservative value of 1.9 billion, assuming that it cost them 50% to extract that gold. By the way, this cost of extraction puts them in the lowest quartile of all the mines in Australia, which is another plus. But this would then give them a 5x upside. So they definitely aren't in asymmetrical bet territory with only a 5x upside. However, they have made great progress with the mining expected to start next year, and they have a fairly solid partner in Newcrest. Now, of course, one big risk is what if Newcrest pulled the plug? And they only have 5 ongoing projects which are actually producing gold. So it seems that they're very selective before going in, but once they go in, they do go in seriously. And they only have 2 prospective projects. So I think this does bode very well for Greatland Gold, in that their sponsor for this project is Australia's largest gold miner, and they only have 2 projects, so they clearly do put all the research in before going in. They're not doing a shotgun approach. So really there's 3 main hurdles before this project gets completed. The first is the definitive feasibility study, and that's expected in June this year, according to the CEO in an interview I watched. And then in 2024 we should have the final investment decision. There is a risk that they don't get the right government permits, but I think that's a much lower risk compared with a lot of other places in the world. So there are, however, clear risks here where you could lose all your money you put in. Obviously, the share price, we had this massive pump in 2020 along with a lot of other stuff, but we do almost seem to be at some kind of equilibrium here. Looking at the technicals, we're definitely still in a bear market, apart from according to the moving averages. But it kind of does look like it's bottoming out. And if you were going to go in, you've got the definitive feasibility study in 6 months' time. So this would be a good time to be looking to go in. If we did get a drawdown in price, maybe with some other macro event coming up or something, it would be actually amazing to buy them more at $4. I think you really would be in asymmetrical bet territory. They're currently experiencing a cash burn of about 10 million a year, and obviously the costs are ramping up now as they further develop this mine. So they have the mine development put in as assets because these costs are capitalized, and they now have 43 million of debt. Now, according to their investor presentation, they have 220 million of debt available. So, in the extra work I do before investing in this stock, I would look into, does this debt facility cover them all the way up until the initial start of the mine, or would they have to raise more money in order to start that mine? But provisionally, it does look like they are actually covered. So, of course, their market cap looks completely bloated back in 2020 when we had the pump and dump. But even now, we're still talking of a price to book of 54. But of course, that doesn't take into account the value of that gold in the ground, as far as I can make out. So, not much more to say about the finances. Obviously, like with all these exploration plays, it looks like a total car crash, but you're expecting that because they're having to invest lots of money and take on lots of debt, with the money only being clawed back once they've actually developed the sites. So overall, I really like Greatland Gold, and I'm definitely adding them to my third division watch list as a speculative play. If I was to invest with them, it would only be with a small amount of money as like a speculative bet. But I like to do one speculative bet a year because it is so much fun. But just making sure that it's only with a small proportion of my overall portfolio compared with normal stocks I'd be investing in. So they're on my watch list, and in a few months' time, I could really see myself having a much harder look at them as a potential bet for this year. Really, what stands out about them is, for a speculative play, they really do have a well-developed project. I think they've got a relatively safe sponsor in Crest, and the location in Australia is a relatively low risk factor compared with most other exploration plays you'll be looking at. So that finishes my video on Greatland Gold. I hope you enjoyed this and stay safe. Please read the disclaimer and remember that prices can go down as well as up.